Y'all a bunch of gang members on a television show with this white guy from New Hampshire. That's hip hop. You know, New Hampshire's as hip hop as it gets, right? This white guy from New Hampshire, nigga, that has a father that was in the feds and got pardoned by Bill Clinton. He's promoting a Satanist anti-family agenda. I want y'all to really watch this guy right here. Hold on. What people don't understand is how it is that on this show, everybody's getting indicted. See, this DOJ bust Rolling 60s Crips, charged in Big U, charging Big U and sweeping RICO case, right? What's really interesting about this is, you know, that's Big U. He goes on No Jumper quite a bit. And everybody's really trying to make head or tail of how it is that all these people from No Jumper somehow, some way got locked up, got busted. They're being indicted for RICO and all this old shit. And Adam 22 is nowhere to be found. How is that possible? Somebody tell me, talk me down real quick before we get into the video, because y'all gotta see this video. But can somebody talk me down, talk me off the ledge regarding that? Because everybody, damn near everybody who went on No Jumper then got indicted, right? Adam 22 running around here freer than a motherfucker, right? And let me just play the video. You got to see the video.
Bible, that was a satanic demon.
Check
You guys
this.
talked about it when you got married. You guys talked about, imagine destroy the sanctity of the Bible. That was a satanic demoralization, alchemic ritual.
I like the way that you're thinking.
Oh.
Because, yeah, I don't believe in God. And maybe what better way to spit in the face of God? Better way to spit in the face of God than to get married.
Well, hold on.
And then let her a large man.
So I really, before I start talking about Adam 22 and the glaringly obvious fact that this guy's an agent, okay, you know what I'm saying? There's so much stuff on Adam 22's ass that is out there. Did y'all know that Adam 22's father was pardoned by Bill Clinton for election fraud? I believe it was. Did y'all know that? How you get a pardon from Bill Clinton, bruh?
I wonder who he's doing the fraud for.
I'm just saying, right? Okay, facts, right? Well, it was some type of fraud that he got in. He was charged and whatever. You know, he got convicted. He got a pardon from Bill Clinton personally. He knows Bill Clinton very well, and Adam is open about this. And y'all are on his show, and y'all feel safe. Really, nigga? Is that what we're doing? Is that what's hot in the street right now? Bruh, my head explodes. And then you listen to this guy and the type of shit that he says when he opens his mouth. The guy's like, oh, you know, what you were doing was a ritualistic, you know, alchemist type of whatever with your wife. You know, you were basically destroying the sanctity of marriage. Adam says, yeah, I like the way you think. What? Yeah, you know, I don't believe in God. And, you know, what better way to spit in the face of God than to get married and let my wife get banged by a large man? And y'all niggas sit up and fellowship with this nigga every day. Y'all go on his show. Okay. I'm just, bruh, that's not even the half. There's so much on Adam 22, bruh. This guy is something else, bruh. You know, again, he has the inverted cross tattooed under his eye. He has a whole Baphomet tattooed on his hand. Has a scene in hell on his side. But there's no satanic agenda being pushed or anything. He actually said that he is all for the idea of destroying the sanctity of marriage. He actually said that.
Yeah.
Talk to me, man. What am I missing something?
No.
Because that was off the chain. I couldn't believe it. Have y'all seen that clip?
No.
Yeah, I've seen it. You know, to me, like I say, this is why it's important for y'all to tune in every week on
yes.
Because a lot of things y'all really don't catch and don't really pay attention to that's very obvious.
Mm-hmm.
When you say things like that, a lot of times people that say those type of things already sold their soul. So it's more of a comforting, a self-mind comforting. It's nothing to do with what he's trying to convey to the public. This is like selling yourself. It's kind of like the delusional shit that a lot of men and women go through. They know they look fucked up and they say, oh, I look real good. Knowing damn well you look fucked up, but it's more of your self-esteem that you're trying to promote and pump up, right? So it's the same thing. Once you sell your soul, it's easy for you to talk down on God and say those type of things because you already sold your soul now. So there's no way you can even turn back and go on to that side. So you're looking at a man who's coming from selling his soul because his father's soul, and remember, this is what I was telling you about the bloodlines. That whole thing about the final destination and bloodlines. If you don't cut off that bloodline, you have to, the ritual goes from generation to generation and keeps going. Same thing with I can get down and deep with the Clintons. The Hillary Clinton, she's more of a fucking demon than her husband.
Oh yeah.
and she packs more of a smile and charisma than her husband. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, he plays the saxophone, but you got this woman, Margaret Sanger mindset, that can dance around more black people than the husband. You get what I'm saying? So
there you go.
You got to understand that level of it. So you got this guy who's saying, oh yeah, what better way to spit in the face of God by letting a guy who has a bigger genital than me fuck my wife. You're trying to downplay that there's this man who has a video who actually can make your girl orgasm more than you can. So that is the inferiority that comes down into the white man's head. You know, I love my favorite movie, my people's hate when I watch it, is Blood and Bone, right? And Blood and Bone has a famous line in there where he's dialoguing with the white guy he works for. And the white guy was like saying, yeah, you know, we don't want to be around you. Why do you want to be around us? And the black guy was like, because y'all got power. He was like, yeah, but do you bring your pit bulls to sit and eat at the table with you when you eat? So he's saying, why would I bring you? You're my pit bull. Why did I bring you to the table where I'm at eating with the people that I want to be around that look like me? And then he says, okay, I got another thing for you. And he says, it's so crazy how white guys feel so superior. They came to Africa and conquered and all of that until they seen one of the African dudes drop their loincloths and realize the world's inadequate moments between the white guy and the black man, right? And the guy was like, all right, touche. He's like, yeah, let's whip him out and we can be the judge of itself. But I'm saying that because people got to understand that, you know, there is so many different ways that you can definitely look at how people I just lost my train of thought. I really just lost my train of thought. But they said when he said that, it kind of resonated with me that a lot of these people they have a deep hurt when it comes to black folks. They admire us even though they practice systemic racism to keep us in a certain level that they can feel more empowered over. But if the playing field is leveled, we were far more superior than them. That's why they have to put these traps and put these things to hold us back. Adam 22 is no different than the Michael Rappaport. They're no different than the DJ Vlads. Why the fuck are black people even surrounding themselves with these janky ass white folks? DJ Vlad, as much as he's part of the small cap community, guess what? He in the real community And that's why I love the movie Titanic, because the movie Titanic exposed that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because in the character, what's her name that played in Misery? She was in there, right? And her character was, she came into money. She wasn't born from money. She came into money. Her husband hit the jackpot and got the money. That's how she got on the Titanic boat and was able to mingle around rich people. White people that's in from money, they still look at you as, yo, you just came into money. You're still impoverished. You're not on our level because you weren't born into it. That's what you got to look at when you look at Adam 22. You got to look at Michael Rappaport. You got to look at the DJ Vlads and all these other white guys that come around black people. They are the lower levels in their own community. So they become superior to us because we're the ones that worshiping them, like not us, but the majority of these people that don't know no better. Look at them as their saviors. Like, look at them as them doing good. And in their community, they're the lower tiers. So they can't compete with their own peoples. But hey, if I want to be dominant and I want to make money, let me go in the black community because I can make money just like that. You know, even with the comedian Gary Owens, he dates black women and all that shit, but he can't compete. He's a goofy white guy that can't compete with the elites in his
not even close.
Yeah, exactly. In his community. So he gets to dwell in ours and look like the cool white guy who gets to bang through so many black women. You think DJ Vlad hasn't banged through black women? You think Michael Rappaport hasn't banged through black women? And you think Adam 22 hasn't banged through black women? Being that his father is around Bill Clinton, another guy who bangs through black women and suspectedly got a son out here that he don't want to claim that looks like him. So you got these people that pray through our community that we keep letting them gain access, gain equity, and everything like that, and then turn around and fuck you in the long run. This is the type of bullshit that black folks be on. Not every black folk, but the majority of y'all be on this bullshit and don't know why we stuck in our fucking stuck in our same mind frame that we've been stuck in for so long. You play with this. The one of the greatest stories that I see a lot of people keep promoting. Motherfucker went to go save the snake, and the snake fucked around and bit him. They asked, "Why did you bite me and I saved you?" At the end of the day, I'm still a fucking snake.
He's still a snake. That's fact.
You don't get. I'll land my plane on that, man.
Facts. Well said. Yeah. What you got, man? What you got?
I actually heard a few weeks ago. Who was it that was getting into it? It was some other dude. And again, I don't keep up with these people on purpose.
Okay.
I have no desire to listen to an Adam 22. The only episode, that's a lie. That's a bald head ass lie. The only clip in depth, longer than 30 seconds that I have ever tuned into, with Mr. Really Ain't Got No Jumper, Adam 22, was that clip when they were going in, having a conversation about basically this man actually renting out his wife like that. That I'm like, I gotta see this train wreck. So
he had a whole show about
you
exactly, and I refused to watch the whole show.
You tuned in for Tariq. That was the only shit that I. But that's how I knew Adam, because when Tariq was on.
Tariq was on there.
I remember that was that was actually the first time hearing about him. The first time, and then I tuned in to get an extended glimpse of that whole snafu, whatever. But Brother Black, as he's wont to do, he went and he was talking about some other prominent YouTuber, and another one of these yo, I'm down. White podcast apparently is basically a whole niche industry of this now. It's a whole.
It is. Yeah.
I guess you go to, I don't know where, maybe the technical school or the Job Corps or the detention center. I don't know where, but apparently probably handing out this sheet saying, here, you want to break big, here's how to get in with black people, just follow XYZ and apply it as, I don't know. Must be some recipe they got. But this one, he took it upon himself to really flex his colors when our young brother Carmelo Anthony defended himself and really started tipping his hat, really showing which team he really plays for in that moment. He was kind of going in depth. And he said something that was profound that really got my attention, and it really caused me to really sit back and really think about it. Because again, we've talked for the longest time about how DJ Vlad is basically the hip hop police. I mean, this man out here just informing. It's almost like the Catch a Predator. Dudes go on the show, twerk their damn lips, and then X amount of time later on they just disappear. They busted for the RICO. They get arrested for something, whatever.
Yeah,
we heard about this in a bubble. But he said something a little more deep. He said, "Have you ever noticed every time you get these little white podcasts, you're DJ Vlad, you're Adam 22, all these people, anytime, forget about the guests. They only talk about black people when it's beef and drama.
I was gonna get to that.
They only talk about black folk and artists and celebrities when it's to foment tension or whatever. They'll go and they'll bring on The Game, for example.
Yeah.
And start bringing up, let's talk about, your epic beef with, 50 Cent, Curtis Jackson. Like, what was that about? And they'll just go, they'll just stir the pot. They'll just add the oil. They'll just make sure the charcoal briquettes are lit. They'll just stir the pot and just have all that stuff out in the open. Because someone's going to slip and say, even the most media trained person, you sit there in that pressure cooker, you're going to say something that's going to get back the wrong way. That's the whole beef popping up. But they never do it with white celebrities.
Never.
And there's been some big, I mean, shoot, who can forget the epic wars between Britney Spears and Christina Aguilera back in the day? That was real heavy stuff. And some of those conflicts were actually really heavy and really deep.
Yeah, they were.
But they don't talk about that.
No.
They don't talk about any of that negative stuff, none of that fomenting beef and conflict, whatever. It's always talk about your products, always something positive, your life, how you persevere, your triumph, whatever. That's what they talk about. But with black people, if there's drama or some kind of chaos, they'll bring it out there. And you can also speculate that they only bring on guests that have that so that they have a reason to go into that.
And
they make sure there's always something foul afoot when they bring us. It's always for dysfunction.
Yes.
And again, got to go back to the master teacher. Shout out to our departed brother of the Neely Fuller Jr. The interactions between white people and non-white people, especially black people, they can truly, at their core, be classified into one of three categories: tacky, trashy, or terroristic. The worst you can get is terroristic, and it never gets better than tacky.
Well, I agree, but I would say white supremacists, not white people.
Well, white supremacy, but
facts, all facts. Brother Neely Fuller, that brother used to cook. But listen, man, and this is what you just said. That is actually my main problem with Adam and his industry plant status, because Adam 22 supposedly has the number one hip hop podcast, except they don't talk about goddamn hip hop. They don't talk about hip hop at all. The
number one. Wait, so not even the JBP, not even Joe Budden podcast.
They're lying.
That's
what they say again.
But see, again, supposedly. You can't trust the white media because they lie like a bearskin rug. They and again, they have been showcasing this for the longest time. We saw this back all the way with Adolf Hitler.
Yeah.
Where he literally talked and coaxed a whole nation to basically turn on its co-workers, its neighbors, it's in some cases it's extended family members, and to see them as the enemy. And that was back when they didn't even have the media we had. Now all they basically had was the radio, and in some places you had a little black and white TV.
Yeah.
But all you got to do is get on the microphone and tell the lie long enough. Doesn't matter how big or crazy or ridiculous it is, but you just keep on consistently telling the lie long enough, it will eventually be believed. So is this the biggest hip hop podcast? Hell no.
That's what
we're going to keep saying it. You're going to keep saying it, and you're going to walk away from this and say, well, they keep saying it's the biggest. It must be true. I could always chat GPT and see if that's the case. But that's too much work. I don't like to think. So They tell me it's good enough for me. Okay, that's
Yeah.
the biggest.
Yeah, I don't believe that shit at all. You know what I'm
That's
saying?
cap.
But
there's
in
no
any
way,
event,
no
in
way
any
over Cam. No, fuck
look,
no.
in any event,
the money doesn't show it. I look at the money. Don't talk to me. Show me
There's
the
that too.
greenbacks. The greenbacks ain't confirming it.
there's
But-
that too. But
Look at that.
never mind if it's number one or not. My issue
Right.
is they don't talk about hip hop. In order to be a number one hip hop podcast, you got to discuss hip hop. They don't talk about hip hop. They talk about gang politics. And the same way that I have a problem with Kai Cenat for promoting prison, making that shit look cool, like you and your homies just hang out in prison, that's just the shit to do. I have a problem with No Jumper promoting gang culture like that's the fly shit and that's what we should be platforming. I grew up with gangsters, man. You understand? You know they told me, hey, young blood, stay out these streets. You smart, man. Go to school, do something with yourself. That's what they told me. You understand what I'm saying? And that's what they told a lot of other young people, you know what I'm saying, or whatever. That was a different time. But, you know, if you were young, you know, especially if they really saw, you know, something in you, they'll protect you and tell you to stay away from that life. You know what I'm saying? And look, whether or not, you know, these guys are out there recruiting these young dudes or whatever, you know, that's not healthy for the community. Obviously, you know, I grew up in gang culture during part of my upbringing out in California. I know a thing or two about it. You know what I'm saying? And even gangbangers, even real gangsters and gangbangers will tell you that if you got options, that you don't need to be doing that shit. Even they'll tell you that. So I have a problem with them promoting that shit as though that is hip hop. Sure, there are some gangbangers and some gangsters that do hip hop, but even the ones that be on the show, they not even rappers like that. A lot of them don't even rap like that. A lot of them are just gang members, and that is their claim to fame, and that's why they have them on the show. That in and of itself is a problem starter. That's a powder keg waiting to explode. You understand what I'm saying? That is, you know, the most dangerous part of him being an industry planet. Him being a white guy, he's going to be insulated. You see all these niggas got arrested. It must have been 60 niggas on the front page of the paper. I didn't see Adam 22 nowhere in those photographs. You understand what I'm saying? So your whiteness is going to insulate you on top of the fact that you're already in the culture and you're subverting the culture and you're perverting the culture and you're disrespecting the culture. On top of that, when the blowback comes, you're going to be shielded because, oh, you're just the white guy in the hood. You don't have any real affiliations with these guys. You're just giving them a platform. And by the way, oh, your father knows Bill Clinton and got a pardon from him. You dig? Niggas, it's not safe. You know what I'm saying? That's all I'm saying. You know, I'm listening to this guy. I think it was Brick Baby. You know, he's talking to Brick Baby, whatever the case may be. And, you know, they're discussing gang politics. And I mean, this guy's just incriminating himself left and right. And Adam's not stopping him. Adam's not editing these things out of the videos before he puts them up.
He doesn't have time. He's too busy making sure the microphone, the wire is pointed directly at their mouth. Like,
bruh.
Hey, man, Brick, can you say it a little louder? I didn't.
I'm saying, bruh,
the first time.
Right. And now look, the
whole FBI van outside just listening.
The guy's in jail right now. Do you know that he has him calling in to the program from jail? And then I swear before God, the dog, I'm like, wow, this is crazy. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, oh my God. So he's even monetizing that. And it's like, wow, this guy really don't care about these brothers. You know, it really hurts me to see that. But like Adam 22 is dangerous, bro. You know what I'm saying? And y'all niggas need to stay the hell away from him. I'm just saying. Some of these other people, you know, like people like Doechii still very young. You know, I feel like some of the shit she's doing, you know, some agenda shit, they're probably putting her up to it. Maybe there's some redemption for her. You know, I would like to see Doechii, you know, pull back on her hatred for men a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Like, I really don't like that. It is very negative. And it's some of the negative imagery that I see in her videos. She has one video. I mean, it looks like a damn Satanist ceremony. You know what I'm saying? Like, it looks something like Doja Cat's videos, which are all some type of Satanist ceremony. It look like, she's so young. Like, damn, maybe she's still redeemable. Maybe Kai Cenat is still redeemable. But some of these other people, they too far. Adam 22, and he ain't even part of the culture to begin with. How the hell he even get there? An obvious industry plan, and you niggas are up his ass every day. Make it make sense. Manifestations 2020.